That's right, folks. It's Friday night. Welcome in. The E-Chapel sends its soothing neon glow once more out over the face of the earth, and I am your pastor, Eno M Koney. Good evening, MK Zariel. You have upon you a great burden, for you are the congregation so far. Maybe someone will turn up to give you a hand, but maybe not. In which case, it is all on you. Whatever I want to do, you gotta derail me, confuse me, befuddle me, especially at this important time of year when the season of confusion has begun. Yes, it's always weird always weird a week where we got two services. I always feel like I've only just done one, which is correct, because I have. So yes, I did one last Friday, obviously, then Tuesday. Should I put the link on a bunch of random Discord servers so that more people join? Right. Now, yes, you can definitely do that. I used to do that, but I belong to like 4 Discord servers. I'm not very good at, weirdly, for a Discordian, I'm not very good at Discord. So, yes, if you actually have people who are Discordian minded, we would welcome them in. All are welcome, of course, at the chapel. And unlike some places where they say that, TF2 Real Gamer 2022, you look confused. Your comment, it signals confusion. Well done. You have, of course. So we have a congregation of 2. That is great. Congregation of 1 is great. Any congregation at all. I remember a few weeks ago, I was just celebrating having 23 whole subscribers on YouTube because, of course, 23, which does make me think we should probably do that. Yeah, there we go. It's coming. So 23 subscribers, that'll be fine. I don't need any more. And I just put it in a Discord. True story. When I told my relatives I was Discording adjacent, they're all fully related to the chat app. That's why they're. Guess what you're playing right now? TF2 Real Gamer 2022. Overwatch. That's my guess. I'm sticking to it. But yeah, so see, I know the genre of the game that you're addicted to, so I thought I'd annoy you. But is Overwatch 2 even a thing anymore? I understood everybody hated it, and it's just limping along now. Everyone's all about the Marvel rivals. Team Fortress 2, actually. Do you want me to act surprised? Would you like that? Because I'm not surprised. And in fact, I knew all along that you were playing Team Fortress 2. But anyway, yeah, so yes, it is interesting that in this age, whenever somebody says Discord, the chat app, which is odd because Discord itself is kind of obscure. Like I heard someone describe Twitch the other day as a niche platform. Say, whoa, that's crazy. No one plays that game. Okay. Whoa, that's crazy. No one plays that game. There we go. Just for you. So yeah. Doing a very good job, everybody, keeping me off balance. Yeah, of course, we are in the season of confusion. I did a service on Tuesday. I know, right? IKR, definitely. I did a service on Tuesday. I would like to announce seasonal services, but because, I mean, if a seasonal service happened to fall on a Friday, that would be fantastic. But if it's not a service I'm doing on a Friday, I really don't know when on the day that I have. I just do the service because it's part of my mission, burden, duty, whatever you want to call it. So I think it was about the roundabout now, 7 p.m. on Tuesday. I did the seasonal service that marked the change from Discord to confusion. So for the next 73 days, 73? I think it's 73. Strap in. We're living in a time of confusion, which, every season has that advantage, especially at the moment. We're living in a season of chaos. We're living in a season of discord. We're living in a season of confusion. Obviously, the next season is called bureaucracy, so probably also true, but maybe it's different. As I was saying, yeah, the Discord servers, you probably know MK Zariel. probably better than Monstructo. Hey, Santa! What did it... Some boys, mean boys, at the holiday camp we went to the week before last, were teasing my boy till he cried, and of course I was doing a good job ignoring him. Orthodox Santa, that guy. And these kids, as they walked away from the park, I didn't do anything. I didn't shout at them. I just gave him a hug, said it would be all right. My son, that is, not the kids. I gave him a hug, said it would be okay. Said, just calm down. Do you want to just go somewhere else? We don't know. And as they walked away, they were shouting at me, "Oh, it's Steve! It's Steve!" As if a man of 50 being compared to Jack Black in the Minecraft movie was going to be an insult or something. I did not respond. And maybe you don't see it right now, but I think it's the hat. If you put Jack Black in this hat, we'd look very similar. But yes. Yeah, if they had been nice to my son, I might have blessed them by going, "I am Steve," like that. But they hadn't been nice to him, so I just, like, "You less than nothing to me, go away." I didn't even do that. I responded in no way whatsoever. "You kind of look like Jack the Black." Yes, I do. I realised that when they decided that the best thing they could compare me to was... I mean, that's... If you're being mean to someone and then their dad comes along and the best you can do is hope that they'll be insulted when you say, "Do you release your water bucket?" No, I generally keep my... Actually, you know, a man of 50 tends to release his water bucket a bit more than he did when he was younger. It's just something you'll learn with age. So there we go. Right, yes. Let's do some service. So we've got the disclaimer, but of course this week, as this is the regular Friday service, we have, instead of a disclaimer, I've got a claim staker. And I just want to make it known that the SWDP, the South Wales Discordian Press, is the home of spiritual entertainment. You look 30. Yeah, and there's a meme I thought I was special, right? But 50 puts me in Gen X, right? And there's a meme doing the rounds at the moment that Gen X are people from 45 to 60 who look like they're 30 to 45 but feel like they're 95 to 110. So can you service me some money so I can get more hats in TF2? I'm going to say no. The desire for the hats is reward enough. But anyway, yeah. So spiritual entertainment. It's weird. It is in the real disclaimer, the phrase spiritual entertainment. And the reason I came up with it is specifically because my wife's a big wrestling fan. And of course, the WWE, back when they were fighting over their name with a wildlife charity, they coined the phrase sports entertainment for what they were doing. And when I came to think of what this was, what do you know about I Show Speed? Someone's asked me that. Was it you? Are you asking me that again? In a very service, in the chat, Congra chat, somebody has asked me, do I know I Show Speed? Is your wife single? Come on. We're not here for logic, but we are here for logic. It's a paradox. Get with it. But yeah, so oh, I see, because you like wrestling too. Yeah, sorry, I got the wrestling fan. Oh, I'm not even that big a wrestling fan. She's in fact made me slightly more. Am I single? Again, logic, I have a wife. So, you know, single men in my area. I'm not a single man and I'm not in your area. So, I'm right out. I'm just a pastor. That's all I am. I do the pastoring. But anyway, yeah, in the disclaimer, I thought, this is what it is. A Discordian service would surely be spiritual entertainment. As another religion service would be, so the Discordian service is the sort of WWE equivalent of that. Why is there no longer a sun orb in the background? Did you eat it? No, it's because there's too much daylight, I think, and I've got the curtain drawn across as well. And so I think that generally, because this is the window here is, oh, wrong side. Oh, that's weird. Oh yeah, so this is all curtain on this side now. So what used to be the reflection of my ring light is not going to work until the sun goes down now. So, and the sun in South Wales at this time is not going to go down until after this is over, I'm afraid. So there we are. So, yes, usually we'd have a disclaimer here. Curse the daylight. Yes, indeed. Curse that daylight. For we Discordians, we like to hide in the shadows. Oh, no! That's the assassins, not the Discordians. Discordians are fine in the sunshine. It's good, you know. Sunshine is fine. You can see how weird we are in the light. Some of all noobs, for tonight I am blessed. The lurker curls the monkey's furled fist. Tongue twisters now already. Okay, we've got the gangs all here apparently. So let's get into the order of service. It's a normal one. Deep Thoughts, Kandar, Faces of Eris. Eris has a face this week, and you're gonna like it, probably. I think. Do you have any Discord kittens? Do I have any Discord? Pray tell, what is a Discord kitten? Oh, of course, TF2 Real Gamer has, because TF2 Real Gamer is a au fait with. It's you, Monstructo, Daddy. Okay. Okay. Well, there's a vibe. I'm not sure what the vibe is, but I can feel it. It's sort of hanging around in the congregation. That's what. This is the kind of vibe that would probably be discouraged in most churches, but in the Discordian church, hey, we like a vibe. So we're going to do Reflective Tarot, and then, of course, get your consumables at the ready for the weekly sacrament. Yay! And we got a deep thought coming in. So the deep thought is, as it says, confused. Good. So as you know, because I've said it like 6 times in this service already, this is the beginning of the age of confusion. It's not an age, it's a season. But, I'm being hyperbolic. That's what pastors do, right? So if you're confused, take it as a good sign. You know how people say, like, oh, I'm getting wicked deja vu. And you're like, oh, deja vu. And people go, oh, if you're getting deja vu, it means something spiritual. And maybe it does. If you like that vibe, go with it. I always, I'll take any unfair advantage I could get. If I feel deja vu, I'm quite happy to be like, yes, spiritually that means something is good. Yeah, it's the same thing here. If you're confused during the season of confusion, take it as a good sign because you're right on vibe with the season. You've got until August 7th, I believe, to be confused. This is the beginning of the end. The end is never the end. It's never the end. It's never the end. No, they breed quickly down there in the dark. Perhaps we can slay them even faster. Like it. If you feel the walls between the same world, the unplumbed denture of delirium are tenuously thin here. Quickly down in the dark, perhaps we can. Well, nice. It's all coming in. We're getting a bit of people. I'm going to say that's typing in tongues. Typing with your tongue, perhaps. Very rapidly with the length of the chat. So, very good. Very good tongue typing there. That's literally it, isn't it? In the places where you can make yourself heard, you can speak in tongues, but in the e-chapel, you can only type in the chat. Therefore, you have to type in tongues. Does that mean you actually have to type with your tongue? I'm going to say a hard it depends on that. If you feel it, do it. If you don't feel it, fingers are fine. You know how people say I'm all fingers and thumbs when they're clumsy? I'm all fingers and tongues. It means I'm about to utter something numinous into the chatosphere. Yeah, that's how it goes. The deep thought is confusion. It's been confusion since Tuesday. It will be confusion until August. And we have a Saints' Day because in the seasonal service, of course, we roll for a Saints' Day. And the Saints' Day details are as follows. I noted them down because they exist only for one single solitary season. I have to note them down or else I will just plain forget. Yeah, 20th of July, that's a Sunday. We will be celebrating the festival of Saint Bick the Meme Lord. Are we going to think about confusion? Why has Wales ever risen up and... Why has Wales... you mean never risen up and declared independence? And then are we going to think about confusion? I'm taking it that you mean never. Well, as we into Q's, which may come with A's, may as well go straight into Quandar, mightn't we? So Quandar, part 1. Why has Wales never risen... Never, because that must be a typo, right? Risen up and declared independence. Well, I remember The last time we were actually specifically asked about any aspect of devolution, we were asked if we wanted a devolved parliament that dealt with Welsh matters, which we voted in favour of, and there is now a thing called the Welsh Assembly in Cardiff, and they do what they can. And because they asked us, do you want a bit of devolution? And we said, yes, please, devolution would be tasty. And they gave us the devolution because they had to, because they asked us, do you want one or not? And we said, yes, we do. They have never risked giving us any more devolution. Since then, there is an organisation running here in Wales called Yes Cymru, which is a pressure group to press for full devolution, i.e. the asking to break the union of the United Kingdom, and it grows in support. But every time someone posts something about how good it's doing, there are a bunch of people in the comments ready to go, you'd never survive without England! You'd never survive without them. But as we know, the internet is 70% bots now, so we're presuming someone rich is... You've been to Cardiff in... Do you mean you've been to Cardiff in Team Fortress 2? Like, you've not really been to physical Cardiff, but there's been a Cardiff map in Team Fortress 2? Or do you mean you've actually been to Cardiff and then you played TF2 when you got here because it was some kind of tournament or something? Whichever is good. Are we going to think about confusion is the next question in Kandar. You can think about it. You can be it. Why be so intellectual about these things? Feel the confusion, love the confusion, embrace the confusion. WN. Deadpool said, you'll reread this rhyme I said my head needs a shine. That's not a cue, and therefore I cannot A it. But thank you for that, some of all noobs. Will the Welsh invade England? Absolutely not. And the reason for that is because England is rubbish. Yes, Wales. I can't type, my fingers have been broken. Well, you could just put the Welsh or Wales. How do you know? I am not a bot. I do not know that you are not a bot, Monstructo. I do not know that you are not a tortoise that can somehow mysteriously learn how to type. I do not know any of these things. You confuse me with your talk. Thank you. You get either 3 or -3 Discordian points for that. But will Wales invade England? No, because England is rubbish and we don't want anything that's there. 6 slippery snails slid slowly seaward, silently shedding shimmering shells. Nice. Yeah, okay. The Discordian e-chapel plus and also tongue twister club. Sort of like a book club, but you just bung your tongue twisters out there and see how people are. I don't know. Will the Welsh invade Scotland at least? No, because Scotland are our allies in hating the English. We might form, a Scoto-Welsh Cymric alliance, and we're not going to invade because, as I said, England is rubbish, and we don't want anything that's in England. But we will just. But I mean, we already do. It's an informal arrangement, but we all hate England already. So that's fine. The 6 shakes. That's an old one. I mean, it's fine. You can bring your classic tongue twisters in here, but the 6 shakes, 6 sheep sick. It's pretty good one. Pretty good one. Very twisty, but it's a classic. It's a classic model. It's an old school. Brilliant. Are we going to try and rope Kanda out until 23 arrives? Are we? Are we indeed? What the hell is going on over here? How am I supposed to monitor when I can't monitor? Oh, it's because I opened that notepad, isn't it? And put it over there. Oh, wow. Go away, Microsoft. You're assaulting me. There we go. We're back on the monitor. The monitor is fine. Okay, yeah. No, we're not going to because 77 benevolent Bavarian baristas briskly brewed bewilderingly bitter blueberry bean brews while babbling about bioluminescent broccoli-based biotechnology. Well, I mean, if you can't work with that, what can you work with? So it's time. It's time to reveal. The goddess is among us. The goddess moves into our lives. She wears 1,000 masks, and here in the service, she reveals one of her 1,000 faces. Got to be the heavy. Come on, heavy. Right. TF2 Real Gamer 2022. Okay, let's add this into the numinous introduction. Right. And she never wears the same mask twice. Haha. So, make of that what you want. But it isn't. We've got a clue there. Clue is step right up. Step right up. And, of course, what do people say after they say step right up? They say, step right up. Win a prize! Discordian points. Medic from the Keep team. You keep trying. You keep trying, TF2 Real Gamer 2022. You do. And bless you for it. Saint Bick the Meme Lord. And as you know, well, if you've been to a season changeover, we have 5 holy dice rolls during that seasonal service. The first one determines upon what day we shall honour the saint. And then the second one determines the kind of thing. I'm programming confusion into digital minds. The bits of bots have got lots of knots. Yes. Excellent. Well done. But then basically we go through how we decide whether we're going to do cakes, gifts, cards. We're going to decide all sorts of things, including the saint and their vibe. So we're having a meme lord. So far we've had 2 enjoyers and 2 meme lords in this process. So we've got 3 other types of vibe that could happen that are just not happening. But that's the way chaos goes. So this is our second meme lord. And they didn't want anything. Like all the things that you can think of, enslaving plants, swapping cards, no 5s came up in any of the dice rolls for any of that stuff. And what happens, that happened last season as well. And the saint communicated to us that what we should do on their day was enjoy a game. And I did, because he was they're non-sexual, these saints. Vibe coder. No, that's one of the things that I'm not. Discordians know that the vibes are there, but vibe coding, coding is my job, and it's one of the things that I do aneuristically. I manage the chaos there. I manage it. Gregariously glottalizing, the grandiloquent geophysicist grumbled granular geological jargon, generating generative grammars governing geosynchronous gyrations of gyroscopic geothermal gradients. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of... It's more alliterative than a tongue twister, but also I like the way that it's stuck on topic, so very good. Well done. Unlike me, who's talking about how we came to this Discordian points business. So, yeah, we had an enjoyer vibe last time, and the enjoyer said, enjoy a game on my day, and we observed that, and we learnt something. Well, I learnt something. You are free to learn your own lessons in your own way, but the saint obviously helps. Well, this one, and it took a while, it took like a couple of weeks to work out that that's what the saint was advising, but this time, straight in there, I did actually have a congregation there on Tuesday, so that helped a lot, because a comment that was made led to this idea that in honour of Saint Bick, for the period until the saint's day at which we reveal our eventual scores, we will have Discordian points. So Discordian points are a method for scoring Discordianism, or your Discordianness, or something to do with the Discordianism or the Discordian vibe in your area, which is, of course, none needed. We don't need a scoring mechanism. Everybody was being a Discordian perfectly well until St. Bick stuck his nose in, or her nose, and said, you're going to have a scoring mechanism for the period of confusion up until my day. I can code in MySQL now. That just means you kind of know SQL. There are some variations to SQL across platforms, but any SQL is pretty similar. You just have to learn the quirks. So there we are. You got me talking shop now. Shop. I'm going to give you 7 points. Or maybe plus 7 points. Yeah, we'll talk about this now, as this is how Eris is coming to us is through the mechanism of Discordian points. So the first thing we're going to know, it's a non-necessary scoring mechanism that we are observing because a strange saint, who only appeared in the last week and will disappear before the season is over, has advised us to do. So, this is the point. Because it's confusion, the rules of what they are and how they work and all of that are necessarily confused. Yeah, because it's confusion, right? So one of the fundamental confusions is, do you want more points or do you want less? That is why every time I issue points, I will say, well, you can have 3, or if you're doing the other, you can have -3 or whatever it is. Like whatever value I place on the points I give out, yeah, you could also have the negative amount. Because I don't know whether you're going up or down, and you don't know whether I am, and I don't know whether I am, and it's just very confusing. Now give me 1 billion points. Can I do that? I mean, I am a pastor and I'm running a service. If anyone can do it, it can be me. But is it fair? Because the only way to get... If you've just suddenly realise in a revelation that your idea is to have the lowest score possible, I'm imagining it would be quite difficult to get rid of 1 billion points within the next 50-ish days. So, you can have them if you want, but they will be positive points. Which means you're either going to have a large score naturally, or I lost the game but won the same, my points are traded in for tokens. Give you 2 billion then. Right. TF2 Real Gamer, your current score is something like 2 billion. It might be -7 because I just gave you 7, or +7. So it could be 2 billion and 7. You're keeping your own score. Everybody's keeping their own score during this period. So there we go. You can have them because I'm not sure whether I've issued you with a blessing or a curse. So that seems legit to me. Where do I get some? Well, obviously, one place you can get them is from me, your pastor at church. I've given out 2 billion just now, so I'm quite tired. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to give away any more at the point. But for a second now, we must focus because 23 is here. 23 is here, and so everyone in the e-chapel at this time gets +2 or +3 or -2 or -3, one of those, however you want to do it. So you can have another 2 to go with your 2 billion, or you can have a number 3 to go with your 2 billion, or you can have minus, you can chip away at that billion, see how much of the billion you can go through. But yes, 23 is here. I personally probably have somewhere in the region of about, I don't even know if I'm going positive or negative. Whatever value it is, I'm going forward in tabulating at the moment, but I might suddenly switch it to negative. I reserve the right to do that. I would like to cash out all my points. Well, you're going to have to wait, aren't you, till the 20th of July. That bit I was very explicit about earlier. This is all for Saint Bick. Saint Bick means you have to keep the points that you have until the 20th of July. So just sit on them. Yeah, and then we are going to resolve the matter of what our scores are. So how many do you need? This is a very good question, because some people are overburdened at this time with points, whereas other people have a more reasonable amount. Probably was best to wait until, like some numbers you want them to be higher, like the score on a pinball machine, but other numbers you're not so keen if they're higher, such as the UK concept of the BMI, the body mass index. The higher it is, the fatter you be. Yeah, so golf scores as well, you want them to be quite low. Yeah, so is the 2,000,000,007 a burden or is it an advantage? Only the 20th of July will tell. And knowing a saint of confusion, maybe not even then. But you are all empowered. How many? Where do I get? Let's go back briefly to where do I get some. Sorry, we need to go back to the actual thing. 23 is over. That was concluded 23 for this week. Oh, I needed to get rid of it. Where does it go? 23, go away. We're not doing it again. Thank you. Goodbye, 23. Okay, so where do you get up? The point is that you can give other people that. Now, it's one thing that this has brought out already is that I thought I would get some cheeky practice in before I did this service, handing out Discordian points to Facebook groups full of Discordians on the old cheery internet. Do you know what? Here's what's always held me back from participating in Discordianism online. I was looking at them going, but this isn't. It doesn't feel right. Nothing that's posted in any of the groups feels, particularly worthy of either positive or negative Discordian points. Because, let's be clear here, negative Discordian points aren't like an attack, they're not an insult, they're not a penalisation. They could be exactly what you want. They're whatever you make them to be. And the same for positive Discordian points. They're just a thing that exists, right? But the point, I think the real failure is not to either incur or abandon any Discordian points. Point inflation might skyrocket, but that's good for golf. Yes, indeed. Yes, lovely. Point inflation. Who even knew such a thing could even exist before we began this mission for St. Bick? That is incredible. And finally, what can you do with them? Well, TF2 Real Gamer 2022 seems to think we can cash them out. I'm not sure that TF2 Real Gamer 2022 is actually right. This is the spirit of confusion. You enter into things, you make assumptions, you just don't really think about it at all, and you just get on with it. Yeah, and so you've all done well. Has TF2 Real Gamer 2022 done really well to amass just over 2 billion of them just in this session alone? Only time will tell. So that is all we need to know. The goddess has come to us and appointed Saint Bick the saint of Discordian point systems. I need to cash out now. Well, let's hope that's not like when, you've eaten quite a lot of spicy food and you need to go to the toilet now, because I got some bad news. You may have a large bill for laundry coming your way, because as I have stated now on 4 or 5 separate occasions, the time for resolving your Discordian point score is the 20th of July. Not a moment before and not a moment after. In fact, the day after, much like a cryptocurrency, your Discordian points will be worth nothing, because that is when St. Bick will have left the building. But here's the real secret. Just like a real cryptocurrency, they're probably not worth anything even on the 20th of July or at any point before. Just like any cryptocurrency, what they do, how many you have, it's all very vague. Proudly the negative of those who would annihilate me. Exactly, there we go. I'm sure that means something to someone, some of all noobs. So that's it. Just this is the season. 'Tis the season to play with points. And what do points make? Well, in the UK, some people would say they make prizes. But in this church, we say, no, they don't even make that. They just exist. That's fine. And what better way to get onto the reflective tarot portion of this evening's spiritual entertainment, where we are the home of spiritual entertainment. This is spiritual entertainment. The kayfabe is real. So here we go. Right, and it's interesting. And actually, I'm sure, especially seeing as we have wrestling fans or had wrestling fans in the congregation earlier, that you're all familiar with the term kayfabe and know what it means. I'm not going to explain it right now. I might explain it next week if I remember. But the fact is that this here chapel is the very spirit of kayfabe, and you're all part of it. You can't back out now. You've put your stake in the ground. You're part of the kayfabe. Get used to it. So there we go. Right, cool. So yeah, as usual, I have shuffled the tarot deck 5 times, cut the deck to bring the reflective vibe, tarot vibe of this week. Kayfabe is Kayfabulous. It is. It is pretty Kayfabulous. I want a lot of 9's trillion points. No, I'm exhausted from giving away 2 billion. Someone in this chapel selfishly hoarded a large request for points. And because of that selfishness, I am either docking or adding 1.9 billion more points. So you either now have like 1 million points, or you have 3.9 billion and 7 points. However much that works out. Well, 3 billion, 9 million and 7 points. So that's the best you're getting out of me, because I'm too confused. Big numbers make my head hurt. But yeah, here is a card. This is the card that Eris wants us to see this week. This is the vibe emanating from the SWDP e-chapel for this week. Oh, and don't forget, the month rolls over, and we've actually had a full 61 days of knowing what the month vibe is going to be. It was April 1 of 2, and then we just had April 2 of 2. It's the longest time we've known what the month vibe is for a while, and you unfortunate people, because I am not calling a special service just to say what it is, will not learn what the new month vibe is until next Friday, but it will roll over on Sunday. So maybe you could guess. Maybe there's some points in it, maybe there isn't points in it. So we'll leave that as a mystery, and right now we're all going to take a look at the Reflective Tarot vibe for this week, which is the Page of Wands. Now, Wands, first time chat, Red 556 wins. Hi, I would like to get 3 billion points. Oh, good grief. Good grief. The burden of having to manage these points. Well, I'm a pastor. I signed up for it. Right. Here's what I'm going to do, because I am very tired and I feel like I've been drained of all my points, which is not a surprise because I have given away a large amount, or a negative large amount, in which case I should feel like a great burden has been lifted from me. What I'm going to do is give you 3 billion points, but then I'm going to put a tax on points of 99.9%. So everybody with over 1 billion points now has to give away 99.9% of their points. So now both of you have, oh God, I don't know, 230,000 points each. That's the tax man's thing. So yeah, you both have 200 or minus 230,000. Remember, any net positive value I give away could also be a negative value, depending on what it means to you spiritually. Command economy is tiring, if nothing else. It is. Okay, I want to trade my points to TF2 Real Gamer 2022. Ooh, right. So that would mean that TF2 Real Gamer trade for what? If there's going to be a trade, there has to be two sides to the deal. So while you're working out what that really means, oh God, I hate the fact that the thing, Red 556 win. Thank you for the follow. You can see the wonderful shower of pyramid eyes and all that happening on the screen right now. I receive nothing. He gets 3 billion points. Yeah, unfortunately, if you've been following this, the taxation means that you have managed through your gambit, which was well intentioned, I know, to set TF2's Real Gamer 2022's points value. So I will accede to your current request to 46,000 points. So possibly don't try and help people out, because he's a bit like, he's feeling a bit musked at the moment in terms of he had a lot and now he's got a lot less. Or she. I have no they. TF2 Real Gamer 2022. Sorry, they. So there we go. Cool. Glad we sorted that out. But right now we're going to talk about the old Page of Wands. Wands are a great suit. I would say that because in astrology I'm an Eris, fire suit, fire sign. I'm likely to have an affinity apparently, although I don't really do astrology at all. Some people would say I don't do tarot at all. Symbolism of the fire, the passion, the growth, the rapid growth, the wand channels energy and power that emerges from who knows where on the individual. And of course, the page is the symbol of play, but not cosplay, because that would count, I would think, as doing. That's more of a nighty thing. No, not a nighty like you wear, at night. I mean nightish with a K. So not that you do at night. Man in a tin can rides around a horse with a lance. That kind of night. No, page is the energy of just intellectual play. Making changes to your attitude. For example, inventing a needlessly complex and confusing system of issuing and docking points. That would be an intellectual exercise where you expect there to be no consequence. And of course, in confusion, you can often do things where you don't expect there to be a consequence because you're too confused to expect it. So, the whole point is that the wand energy says this is all about things that you're passionate about, which covers anything. Usually, people tend to push it when they talk about this towards intellectual pursuits. That is pursuits of the mind. But honestly, anything where you could describe an interaction from a person or an attitude of a person towards that thing as passionate is covered. Behave. Yeah. So that is what. So this is a intellectual play with passions vibe. Expecting no big result. You're not trying to change the world, but you're having a little think. What do I like? Do I like that? Would I like to do that? Am I passionate about it? What if I acted really passionate about exotic Asian fruits just for a while? How would that turn out for me? That kind of thing. So, it's a cool card. Obviously, every time we talk about not expecting a consequence, we have to warn you that you might do something and not expect a material consequence and then get one that you weren't expecting. So that is the danger of doing things where you're not expecting any consequences. You might get them by accident. So that's the warning as it stands. Obviously, when it comes to tarot, I'm just the janitor. So if it does anything for you, that's nothing to do with me. And so we come once again to the weekly sacrament. Have your consumables at the ready, as I have mine. Yes, this is a very evolved miniature vibe. Redwind, wait! I am waiting, Redwind 556. You're going to get a consumable ready. Accidental dentistry. I also want points. Right. Okay, have 3. There we go. We're done. We're ready. It's time for the consumable. As every week, we recite the mantra. 5 billion, please. Well, sorry. No, is that a tilde? Around about 5 billion. Well, in geological terms, 3 is round about 5 billion. 5 billion is nothing in geological terms. That's what we've learnt about geological terms over the time. Big numbers are small numbers. So therefore, minus 5 billion. Exactly minus 5 billion? I'm feeling good about the fact that Redwind 556 has followed me, but less good because previously someone called Red 556 Wind followed me. So, what can I do? Minus 5 billion. I've already set my terms. Geological, therefore 3. Have 3 or minus 3, however you feel. And then join me in saying, I could not find a hot dog. I don't know that guy. Yeah, alright. I could not find a hot dog, not even with a bun. So I eat this random consumable, because devotion comes with fun. Hey, Eris. Hot dog. Or maybe, hot dog. Yeah, that's better. Where's the background movie? It's at minus 55 decibels at the moment. If it's too quiet, I'll turn it up. How's that? I didn't forget it, I just turned it down too low. I could see a green bar bouncing up and down. I thought, that'll do them. But apparently, that's about it. Hail Eris indeed, and all hail Discordia for another week. Well, what a wild ride, eh? What a wild ride. Definitely the vibes have been running free tonight, and they're not good for anything except confusing everybody. So I'm definitely more confused now. You can barely hear it. Hey, I'm willing to play this game because I've always wondered what would be an appropriate level. I put them up another -10. How about that? Is that better? May as well leave on a technical note. I'll know to have it a bit higher in future. Surely that has to be a reasonable level. You can hear me talking, but you could still hear the music in a good way. Yeah? I mean, bear in mind if I only brought up 10. Still pretty quiet. Okay. I know it is a bit of a logarithmic scale, this loudness. Right, now I'm just getting it to just touch the yellow part of the bar. I'm not going any higher than that. Because it could be that the track itself has got a bit of quietness in it, and so if a loud bit comes in. The one thing that is, just to share with you, a bane, I think, of most of these home broadcasting. It's perfect, right? A bane of most home broadcasters' setups is the ducking, which is used in Mess Up. It's low enough because if you get a loud bit of the music, I don't want to have to be. Well, I have no ducking. I'm sure there's probably like a plug-in that claims to give you ducking on an audio source, but I think we have to be safe rather than sorry, because I can see now that this track has entered a quiet phase. So if another track enters a loud phase, there we are. Anyway, that's enough technical talk. That's enough Discordian talk. Everybody's confused, and I like it. Yeah, that is the way. I like it. So I agree with Redwood 556. Okay, that's fine. You can agree with him all you want. But as I said, I'm not putting up any higher because the last thing I want to do is have to be contesting with my own music. It is going to go higher in a second, I promise you. Yeah, I'm actually going to do a countdown. Yeah, until it does go higher. I'll go higher in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is just a quiet track. Good night, disco kids. Good night.